A grain of wheat. Brief summary. A Grain of Wheat by Ngiyo was first published in 1967. The book was later revised in 1987. The author wrote this novel while he was studying at Leeds University. The book was first published as a part of the influential Heinemann African Writers series. The major part of the novel covers the events that take place before Kenyan independence. The story is set in the background of More Rebellion. These events lead to the country's independence and the celebration of the Independence Day called Uhuru. The story is set in a village in Kenya. Ngiyo and Mumbi happen to be in love. Having got married, they are just beginning their married life. Unfortunately, Ngiyo is arrested and he is sent to detention. After his detention, when he comes back home, he learns that his wife, Mumbi, had given birth to his rival's child. He comes back home after 6 years of imprisonment. The husband and wife do not have any words to talk about their past. A kind of invisible wall is there between the two. Mumbi's brother is also arrested and he is hanged. The people of the town then realize that the man they thought was their hero was actually the betrayer. The novel begins on the day of celebration of independence. Ngiyo happens to be an introverted villager. The town elders ask him to deliver a speech, but he does not agree to do that. The people of the village think that he is a hero because of his stoicism and courage. He had been in detention during the state of emergency in Kenya. The reality is not that. He is actually living with the burden of a secret. He is thought to be a hero, but he had betrayed Ngiyo, their beloved More fighter. Ngiyo does not find peace in his village and he mostly remains restless. The narrative shifts to the story of Ngiyo. When he joined the More rebels, he was a young man. He was a brave fighter and he became famous when he captured the police garrison at May. He killed Robson, the district officer. He is loved by the villagers and others, but Ngiyo betrayed him in secret. Eventually, Ngiyo was arrested and hanged. The people who are now making preparations for Uhuru, the Independence Day celebrations, want to honor him. Actually, Ngiyo had never liked Ngiyo because of his courage and zeal. He had a reward on his head to boot. Although Ngiyo betrayed Ngiyo, he immediately felt remorse. This is a secret and the officers and people do not know that it was actually Ngiyo who had betrayed Ngiyo. They believe, including General R and Koina, the two More fighters, that it was Karanja who had betrayed Ngiyo. Now they are planning to publicly execute him at Uhuru, the celebration of the independence. There were several other men with Ngiyo while he was in the detention camp. Ngiyo was also there and he was very much respected. He was a businessman. He used to be a carpenter before. Before being brought to that detention camp, Ngiyo was deeply in love with his wife Mumbi. She was the sister of Ngiyo. Karanja was also a friend of Ngiyo. There were several men, including Karanja, who wanted to win the love of Mumbi, but it was Ngiyo who married her. Ngiyo, when he comes back from the detention, is horrified to learn that his wife had borne a child by Karanja. He knows that his relationship with his wife can never be like it was before, so he submerges himself in his work. The British happens to have started a forest research station. Karanja works there. The place is Githima. Roger Thompson is the district officer there. He lives with his wife Marjorie. Karanja tries to get his approval. Thompson happens to have an illustrious career, but there were some problems when there was a hunger strike and violence at Rira. It was the camp where Ngiyo was. Thompson is now at Githima, but he is making arrangements to go back to England because he does not want to be present there to see Kenya gain independence. Instead of joining the freedom movement, like several other people from his village, Karanja began to work for the British. He joined the Home Guard and then he became chief when there was the state of emergency in the country. His own people were very angry with Karanja, but Karanja was almost unconcerned about anything. The narrative comes back to Mumbi. She is very sad because now her husband does not love her. She comes to see Mugo. She tells him everything about how she and Jaikonio fell in love. She tells him that he was very sad when he was in the detention camp. When she learned that Jaikonio was coming back, she got very happy. She requests Mugo to come to Uru. She visits him again and requests him second time. Mugo gets furious and he says that he had betrayed Kaihika. Mumbi is obviously stunned to hear that. But she does not want more blood to be shed for her brother. On the day of celebration, Uru, it is first rainy and then sunny. People look very happy and they want to see Mugo. He happens to have already said that he was not coming there. During the celebrations, there are games and speeches delivered by powerful people. During a spontaneous race, Karanja and Jaikonio find that they are competing with each other in that race. Both of them had competed like that to gain Mumbi's attention several years before. At one place, they stumble. Jaikonio's arm is broken and he is taken to the hospital. After a while, General R delivers a speech. Mugo is not there to give his speech. General R calls for the traitor to come forward in front of the people. He assumes that Karanja will step forward, but suddenly Mugo steps forward, coming out of the crowd, and declares that he is the traitor. At first he feels a sense of freedom, but he is suddenly subdued by terror. The crowd is obviously confused and they part to make way for him to go forward. General R and Koino arrest him and declare that a private trial will be given to him. Mugo does not say anything. He is ready to take his punishment. There are some elders in the crowd and they feel that Uru did not go well. They realize that something is certainly wrong. Karanja goes back to Githima. He is not happy and decides to commit suicide by standing in front of a train. However, he changes his mind. When Jaikonio opens his eyes, he finds himself in the hospital. He is ready to go back to Mumbi to make amends with her. Eventually, she visits him and he tells her that he wants to speak of the child he happens to have completely ignored since his return. She wants to have a very serious discussion with him about their needs and wants before he speaks of the child. Jaikonio is happy. He decides to carve a stool. He wants to carve an image of a pregnant Mumbi, obviously trying to make amends with her.